don't know whether you are having the same question that I'm having. That what would the day would have been like had actually not having time restrictions. I think Neritoya until the sunset. Neritoya until the sunset. But thanks, Mr. Kaya and the band. I think we are trying to make most of this time. Every little minute that we have.
Trainer, he also trained me. For one in America, how pillar. He make a celebration for an visa. He planted very patch whatever. Then we talk about Mutuo for ABC this way. But now with us South Africans, Remapility the last minute, then when he's there, then we start talking about him. I mean, how would this guy? Germusa as a pillar for Bra Barney, this feel like a mebro and all that. Do that praise, I'll be right. Well, I wouldn't accuse anybody after all. I'll just say, Rona as a family, Balizwalo, Nakaslo Balizwalo, Muledi. Barney, I go hopefully Kalamotolo. Hannah Sitajola, my aunt. Suru who use that language, but it's our township language. Barney Nale kind, obedient. How to the Qatar ready trumpeting, no problem. Until you Vanyal and Monaga. I saw Lebalivania and Bachola until Vanyali. Today, Nakiri, Kamatompa Bandana Chavani. o emetse dikano tsa gagwe a re till death do us part and ka nnete ena le mosadi wa gagwe ba kgaotswe ke lefu ga se kgale re pata maninini now today it's Bra Barney yaanong and nkare the musicians kaofela thank you for playing the good old music ya Bani Rachabane and then setšhaba se tlile fa kaofela ke re thank you go tlo grace this occasion le re supporte because lefu ke ngwetsi ya malapa kaofela and ka jeko lefu a le kokote ga letla kena fela whether you are rich or poor or what la tla lefu go wena so nkare in short nkare Rabani a se blibe rurne tsamaya gantle o rwale pila we won't forget you bana ba gago ba setse mo ba le bang wena le manini le batlogetse na ke re Lavi Queen we are here as your brothers re ka se le tlogele and Oslebo at the same time Luena is our sister-in-law please you are not lost as a family we will be there for you agre ka setso re after this ne after a week or so ne re tsamere kwa di garafa ke we'll come to grace occasion again le ga bana ba tlhola gape we'll be there again whatever you do we'll be there I'm happy my mangwane is here motho ga excuse sa gage Oz baby thanks for the gracing this occasion on your Barney how blelo a motho na le jong I think be a sharpini since ba yena go gopole ju tsa ga ju tsa bo king go abuse batho Barney has never abused my aunt no it never until his last day so in short I'll say to everybody and the musicians thank you very much and everybody and last but not least most importantly baruti ba rona thank you
Raleboga. I'm going to call upon tribute Kaya Mahlangu, who's going to do a tribute as well. I think you might as well can have just a short piece. Just render a short piece and you will do your tribute thereafter. After Mr. Kaya Mahlangu, can we have Moarishane Abe Khaufi Paul Katisi? Paul Katisi. Is it Paul? Paula Katisi. Atumele Haufi. Immediately after Mr. Kaya Mahlangu, Bota Bualian. Thank you, Prakaya. Thank you.
Ngiyalibingelela ibandla lonke. Igama ukhaya kaMahlangu. I first came across Bra Barney. I was 10 years old from a recording 1964 Castle Lager Jazz Festival. On one side was Eli Mabuza, on one side was Malombo Jazzman. And it was the first time I hear a saxophone being played like that by a South African. And that had a very profound and deep effect on me because I was drawn to music from a very young age. But subsequently, 10 years later or so, I started going to his shows, and what a man. But where do I begin to talk about a giant of a man, though small in frame, but he was a giant, whose musical strides traversed all musical worlds, traversed all countries of the world where he had been. And the opinion was always, Barney is good. So Barney for me represents the indomitable spirit of people who are oppressed, socio-political and economic conditions are not conducive, but you decide that I'm going to be who I am, I'm going to be the best person I can be. And Bra Barney became that. As you heard his niece saying, you know, Bra Barney would go and, what's the term now? Go and play in the town with the hat around, pass the hat around, and bring money back home. He did that from quite a young age. And he told me a story that he would give his dad more money than he earned at work, you know. But that was Bra Barney, and he became very responsible quite early. And having met him and worked with him, particularly from 2010 onwards, I worked with him very closely. I got to know the man, his mind, his soul. I really got lessons, lifelong lessons from just being with him and talking with him about the music, about where this country is going and so on. I'm not going to take too long so that other speakers can But all I can sum it up is to say that Bra Barney was a giant. Anywhere in the world, he was comfortable. I don't care who came from where, the best musicians from wherever, Bra Barney stood his ground. He was more than capable, and we took that lesson from him to practice very hard, because jazz music is not easy music to play. But he had the, what do you call it, the fire in the belly. He had the dedication and the passion to pursue his craft and master his craft. And for that, we're truly indebted to Bra Barney. May your soul rest in peace. Rachabane, God will be with you and will be with you. We'll keep checking on you. Bra Barney hatsamaya rena le lona. And I'm happy that wherever he is, Upumutse Bra Barney is very happy where he is. He's joined the Heavenly Orchestra with Bochuk Makasi, Mankunkungos, Cups and Saucers, Christopher Ngogana, and so on. The list of saxophone players of this country is very long. And finally, if I was in power, I would make sure that there is a scholarship fund for saxophone players called the Rachabane Scholarship Fund, so that those who want to pursue the saxophone can have access to good education, which Barney didn't have. He grew up in the streets. He picked it up by ear. But just gives you an idea of the measure of the man. Bless your soul, rest in peace.
Thank you very much. You can clap your hands. That's a good tribute. Just in short, how Bra Barney was, and the contribution that he made in the musical world, especially in the jazz music. So he has done quite a lot. The Ministry of Health is here. I don't know whether they will take up the challenge of creating that academic or advisory for saxophonists. So, but it's something that I think it's something that we'll have to think about it and see how best we can honor Rachabane, Rachabane, sorry. Paula Katisi, that's a neighbor. Is she here? All right, yeah, yes. Yeah, Legarfa Pina, just a short one. Legarfa Pina, just a short one.
All the protocol observed. Hakimo ahisani. I'm not a neighbor. Ke ngwana wa mo hae. Ke kholetse mo lelapeng. My mom and my dad, they were the neighbors. But I'm the child of Rachabane. I have grown up in this house. Motho o lerato ke ntate Rachabane. We have seen artists. We have seen people we never thought we'll see them. Kantate Rachabane. Bo Paul Simon, we used to run when we were kids. Retlo bona batho. And let's amaile. He wanted to know his community. He will stand in the gate, habo ya ko di tripping Tate Rachabane. And then when he stand here, when you pass, if you're a child and call you, come here, narata Africans, harohola, re ntata molo bua tsotsitar. Le meomo hai. That's what he liked to talk about it. Abua Africans said, and re Kazake Africans said. And he will call you, how feta mostrating, are, come here, oh, kana ungwana mang, or hai, ke ngwana mol, oh, ke mang, papa how kai, mama how. He wanted to know us when we grow up. Nasa rekloele fela, you'll see horo misa hai. He have gone, nagatamana gone 6 months, 8 months, asi yo mahai. But when he come back, he will stand in the gate, or Abud Bani ubuile. Nere mita Abud Bani. Nele neighbor onan lile rato. Nele ntate o onan lile rato. When we grow up, we will talk with my father. They were from Alexander. Kaufela, bo Budbani, but were Alexander. They would talk all Alexander stuff. He Le Musaidwa High. They were so lovely. We used to go Aribite ready, Tlapong, Kona, Letsakotenga, Budbani. That's why we learned jazz when we grew up. Jazz. Renalin Tat. Mo jazzing. Kena na ruta jazz. And Badela Pala Rachabane. Porakhadi. Bomangwane bomamkholo. You know, Banabako High Queen Octo Lavi. You know, Botlhoko Jara e hayar twara khantle. We have lost our parents. Ratswana, Rebana, Basnambatsadi. But we've got. If you put God first, God will do everything. We have put God, Rabona Arieleza. Le Papa, Hansa Kuda Remona, but we know God. Oteng, Akwala. Le Kasheko Lea Seyon Tate, Mudimo Oto Kwala. He knows Horkasheko. Atlabe asiyo atsamai. Otsamai le papa. Borokadi le bo mamkholo. Bateng ke bo papa le bo rangwane ke bo papa ke bo mama. We are not lost. If you have a family, we tshwareletse mo family. Bo malome they are there. Ke kopa fela a lerato leo Abud Bani, Los Manine Alisiding, Alisale Tuka Rachabane. We will, I'm just here. Artswarane, Neritswarane, Habatadi Barona Bapela, let continue that thing. Only God can do that. Kikupari tute, huitwarela moyena. Thank you.
Me, Olo. Jalgarle Mokwele Oriana Asi Marisa Niki Wanakalapeng. So Obolela, the other side of Bra Barney, how caring he was to the community as well. So he would regard any child of the community as his child. That's how fathers are supposed to be. We're going to call upon now the Tlogolo mo ke Kabelo, Naledi, Jason, Brandon, Oscar, and one of them, Olengore Ayomo, go Australia. One of the grandsons, his name is David. So I will ask Oscar to usher them with just a solo piece, a short one. Okay. All right. A round of applause. I actually deliberately say a short piece, but if you know the nature of jazz music, there's nothing short. Nothing short at all in jazz music. Oscar, come this side. Oscar is making a comeback. He is making a comeback. So, the one who's going to represent the grandchildren is Tirani. And Tirani is the niece. Tirani is the niece. Okay, thank you.
Dumelang bagolo. Lebitso la ka ke Terani. Malumpani was my uncle. My mother was the younger sister Moyena. So I'm going to represent the grandchildren because, yeah. So the earliest memory that I've got of him was when he would come, because Neredulale Kukwaka Kohai. It was my grandmother, my mother, my father, and my sister. And the memory I've got Yamalumpani is he would come Kontlung and he would be driving his Beetle at Tweu. And he would come and, you know, Kontlung, I think only few people in the house drank fresh milk. But when Malumpani came, condensed milk because he was so particular about, you know, having his fresh cup of tea. And there were ashtrays go high, braso. And we'd always make sure, he was the only person who used those ashtrays. Yanale Maluma Tome were the two people, the ashtrays